Hello, and welcome back to another episode of International Immersion, a podcast that seeks to capture the combined experiences of people, places, culture, traveling, current events, living abroad, and much, much more. For today's episode, I want to go into detail on something that is a quintessential aspect of my life and something that I try to do on a daily basis, which pays dividends when I travel, interact with different people, and try to take the most out of every place I go to or make the most of every day at work or in my personal life. And that is the concept of self-improvement. And one of the key avenues of self-improvement that I have found is the study of philosophy and different schools of thought, regardless of the origin or where they originate from. The reason why I want to list philosophy as a quintessential aspect for myself is based on a number of reasons. First is that if you look at different schools of thought or different philosophies such as Stoicism, Confucianism, Taoism, or some of the philosophical religions such as Buddhism, Hinduism, there are so many different aspects of life and concentrations of thought that you can gain from. The main goal of philosophy is how to improve yourself, how to make yourself a better person, how to interact better with others, how to be more knowledgeable, how to be free, how to have a more positive outlook on the world, how to benefit others, and at the end of the day is to make life more fulfilled and accomplished and not dwell on the negatives and things that get you down, which so many people in this day and age and throughout history have struggled with. And kind of going back, traveling is a great way to open this to you because you get to interact with people from so many different places and from so many different points of view that unless you do that, you're never really going to get a full window into the world, its people, and what they believe, think, do, say, etc. But going back to self-improvement, taking time in your day or in your week to learn about how thought is characterized, how thought can be manifested into actions, and how actions can go towards positive or constructive events. I think that is very important because so many people currently, they're so self-obsessed, instant gratification. They don't think about others. They don't think deeply. They don't think outside of what really it benefits them in the here and now. But I think it's very important for our mental cognizency and also for society in general to take a step back and to think about the nature of oneself and how can we better ourselves to make both our lives better, more positive, and those around us. Because at the end of the day, when everyone succeeds, you succeed. Going further, one of the schools of thought that I've mentioned that I have delved more deeply into is that of Stoicism, and especially many of the Stoic philosophers such as Seneca, Plato, Aristotle, Epictetus, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, and many, many others. But they all stress very key points about how to think positively, how to embetter yourself, how to protect yourself, and how to think and prevent yourself from being used, taken advantage of, and developing mental fortitude and in many ways, invincibility of the mind. Not to put it so aggressively or extremely, but there are so many aspects that can be gained from that. And of course, a lot of it is situational or circumstantial in how you can apply it, but it's more about the the in-depthness or how you can take the thoughts of what they preach or what they state and how that you can apply that to make yourself a better person, but also focus on things like wisdom, moderation, value, moral correctness, and things like that. Because as Aristotle said, all things in moderation. We have to moderate our lives to be successful and to keep ourselves, balanced, because when we get out of balance, that affects both our mind and our health, which so many people are out of balance. And it's also about perception. So many people perceive things negatively when really they're not that bad, because, the one way is to stop thinking about the things that are beyond the power of our will or our control. You have to think about them, but if you obsess about them, it's going to just consume you. And that is one key element that Epictetus states. Or another is from Marcus Aurelius, when you wake up in the morning, think about what a gift it is to be alive and what you can do with that, to think, to learn, to do, to act, to love, etc. Or with thinkers like Plato, Socrates, or Aristotle, who are teach us so much about how to debate, how to discuss, how to interpret information, and how to develop the mind to be more affluent, developed, and just in other sense, educated. As another line from or a quote from Epictetus, only the educated are truly free, because education allows you to develop, pursue, and advance in life to gain what you want, but also to be a better person and not be taken advantage of, and have a sense of what is going to be best. Because if more people are educated, and not even in trades or skills, but if they're more intellectually or mentally educated, I think that would help so many people who struggle with so many aspects of life, that you can see in this day and age. Depression is a huge issue, self-esteem. I think society in many cases, contributes to a lot of these factors, but you have to do what you can to try to, negate the, negative effects of society. And at the end of the day, people around you, there are always going to be people who have it worse off than you. And thinking positively is so important, because you may be in not the best of situations, you may not have a lot, but you should value and cherish what you have. Be thankful for that, aspire to more, but know that others may have less, are going through worse times than you, and don't have the opportunities that you do. So I think having this more moderate and comprehensive school of thought that different philosophies can kind of gain to you, and anyone can take a liking to one or others based on their circumstances, or just who they are as a person, but I find that it gives me a greater sense of understanding, relatability to people, how to help people, how to learn. And I think one of the most important things is another great quote by Epictetus says, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak." And I think that is a great thing, and something people don't do enough of, and that is listen. Because those who never listen, who always have to get the last word and don't have to talk, they're really cutting themselves off from a lot of useful information they can gain from others. And you can always learn from someone. Never diminish them or think that you can't learn from someone. And that's going to pay dividends over time. The more people you listen to, and regardless if you agree, disagree, like or dislike what they have to say, you're going to gain a lot from that. And it's quite an art to learn how to listen effectively and to intake information, process it, and use it in the best way you can. And strengthening the mind, developing the mind to be open, morally right, and learning the skills of debate, discussion. All of these things are very important, because so many people get offended too easily. They have too thin of a skin. And it's quite sad to say, because at the end of the day, we have to relate to one another, we have to understand each other, we have to respect each other, to varying degrees based on what's going on or what the situation curtails. But that is what I want to leave everyone with, is that philosophy is a great window into different schools of thought, how to prosecute your thoughts, how to learn, develop, and just be a better person overall, and develop yourself beyond just what you learn in school or what you do at work, because this all has extreme value. So this was just a short episode I wanted to do today, because it's been on my mind, and especially with things like the COVID pandemic, it has really, pushed me to learn more about this because in a great way it's not, I wouldn't say a great compensation tool for dealing with more stress and the situation globally now, but it's just a great way to try to mentally fortify yourself, which has been very useful for me. And it's by no means perfect. No one's going to be perfect with anything, but anything you can do to strengthen yourself mentally, physically, emotionally is going to be good for you. And that's what I just wanted to leave with you today, and that I highly recommend delving into philosophy, regardless of what it is. There's a great value, and you know it's very rewarding to do so. So I hope you've enjoyed this short episode today. Please tune in. We'd love to hear your thoughts, comments, and we will catch you on the next episode of International Immersion. Stay safe, take care, and let's hope we can get back out, travel, learn, develop, and grow with the world and take advantage and everything it has to offer.